Good morning. It's Monday, the 1st of February, I think. I'm never quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's the 1st. And after several reasons why I couldn't record this, I'm now here to record the flip-throughs of the last 3 journals in this year-long project. First of all, I couldn't find the last journal, and I had no idea where it had gone. Anyway, it wasn't with the others because it was the last one to be completed, and I found it in a pile of things. And then I had some technical issues with exporting another video that I'd made, which I've now got to re-edit, but that was also stopping me from getting on with this because I didn't want to make this and then not be able to upload it. So here we are, and in completing this video, I've also completed another intention, another challenge I set myself, which was when I finished this project, I wanted to flip through them on YouTube. I wanted to share the process and the journey. And I hope that if you're here watching this last part and you've seen the others, that in these last 3, you might see how things developed and changed, and how what I'd been doing for the previous 9 months really started to create a sort of creative momentum. And sort of a freedom and enthusiasm, an inspiration. And in these last 3, I kind of, for the most part, when I'd filled them up, it was like, oh, I've finished it now, what next? Whereas in other months, I didn't manage to fill it up. They're all got the same number of pages. And yeah, so in these last 3 months, which are September, October and November 2020, because my year of journals didn't go through a calendar year, I just hope you'll be able to see a shift and a change and a sort of a perhaps more coherent in style and concept. Not that I was necessarily aiming for that, and not that journals, particularly personal journals, have to be coherent in style and concept, but I am a predominantly visual person. I've learnt through this, if I journal at all, it's in a visual way. Writing isn't necessarily something that I find as therapeutic. And the main reason I create is because it is good for me, for my mental health, and that has to be the main purpose in everything I do, that it's doing me good, it's helping me to be well. So here we go. September 2020, and I put together, it was autumn, and I don't normally do kind of seasonally themed things, but I love autumn colours and I love leaves. So I'm really inspired by leaves. I always have been, and I've been watching Susan Taylor Brown, and she's got a sort of a challenge this year which is called Start with a Leaf, and I have a few things that started with leaves already, so that's been making me think and inspiring me to things I might do. Sip of coffee, sorry. Okay, so this is September. This just slides off. I made this up, so basically it was autumn, and I thought, right, I am going to indulge my love of autumn colour. And I went through all my painty papers and I pulled out lots of old jelly prints, and anything I could find with autumnal colours. So on the cover here we've got jelly prints, printed paper, something not quite stuck down there which needs a bit of attention. We've got some tea stained fabric, 2 Tracy Fox labels, This is a mulberry paper leaf that I bought, you know, already cut. Scrap of tea stained paper, and this is Painty Papers. It's not a jelly print. It's something I was playing with mark making, something that was making a little sort of squarish imprint and building up in these colours. And then I've just stitched around there and through the leaf. So I think that's a really sweet little cover. Here I've got a tuck spot made out of, these are leaf postcards, which I got just on AliExpress. This is sort of tissue paper with a leaf pattern in it. And I carved some leaf stamps. I carved individual leaves, which I could then kind of adhere to stamp blocks in different configurations to make leaf patterns. So I think you'll see those come up a few times. This is a piece of fabric. It's a fabric, I think it goes across the, yeah, I've done something with it on the other side. Oh no, that can't be part of the, yes, it's just there, look, as the sort of the end paper almost. So this is a piece of upholstery fabric, and actually it's a sample, and it's also my living room curtains. There you go. So you can tell I love this. I love ochre and orange, sort of burnt orange and browns, and the purples, the sort of the deep purples of autumn colours. Those sort of off primary, those slightly deeper or slightly more muted, depending on what kind of colour saturation I'm going for. Yes, but I just love autumn colours. So here we go. Here's one with a more purpley tone. That's just a piece of jelly printed paper. I think it's probably been jelly printed and then stained in some way. Found some little leaf images, which I printed on fussy cut, and just created a little fold out journaling spots. I have written a little bit in there. I might have been practicing with my dip pen. A little collage page here. So I have a couple of leaf punches, and I was punching out leaves to use, and then I had all these bits of negative space left behind, and as often happens, I thought the negative space remaining looked really rather lovely. So I've taken the waste paper and stuck it over some jelly printed paper, and I've got these two grungy little leaves coming through. A grungy little Distress Tracy Fox label, jelly print book page, bit of my favourite page edging. It's not even real page edging. I've got a punch that makes, I can punch into scraps to create this pattern. So I make up a page. I don't really buy very many ring bound things, so I've created my own effect for that. Really simple little collage here. This is just a stained post-it note that I've put here to sort of over the painty paper with my leaf stamps and a sticker. I've played a bit with post-it notes, and actually the yellow post-it notes in the autumnal journal work really well. Then a leaf, jelly printed leaf here over some stamped tea stained paper, painty paper, just a little collage. More collaging, with again negative spaces from the leaf punches. I'm not even sure if any of the actual leaves make it into here. I've still got most of them. I ended up using all this waste and none of the actual thing, but that's okay. Again, so those car leaves I'd carved, stamped in another configuration, and these are just the test stamps. I was using post-it notes to test the stamps on, and then I thought I'd printed in StazOn. I'd stamped in StazOn, so that's waterproof, and so I just stained up the post-it notes and used them little mushroom sticker, no, little large mushroom sticker on its own page in all its glory. Now, you see in some of my other journals, I've been like, I don't think much of that page, but within all the kind of the more busyness of this, that doesn't make sense. I think I don't mind it so much. I've made a little flip up tag here. Yeah, there's some really bad calligraphy practice under there. So this is a tag with some, I think I've made some texture with some acrylic paint on like a mini jelly plate. I've used some washi tape to stick it down. I've stamped my little leaves all around the edge. And then this is a commercially bought stamp on a bit of stained edge paper. A really yummy bit of jelly print there. You know, just the bubble wrap and maybe a couple of bit of texture making marks, but I just love that. Right, I've made, I thought that was a belly band, but I obviously decided it was too complicated. So I just cut out this little leaf image. Again, I found it's a royalty-free image, and I've just printed it and cut the leaves out. With a very simple stained paper and book page collage there. And then I've used a piece of jelly printed paper, I'm going to have to put this down, to just add loads of little cut out leaves and labels in this little triple cascading pocket. So more of those little cut out. Look at that one. Oh, so lovely. Simple but lovely. Right, well, there's another different leaf, little just stamped on a scrap there. I can't really see what you can see. I can kind of peer up into the camera, but it's not clear. Right, so jelly print there. Got a little pocket here. A little bit more journaling. Okay, and that was the dog returning. So I now have a very muddy dog in the front room, who I will take and shower shortly. So here is a little tea-stained glassine envelope. And I then carved a different stamp, this one here, which has gone onto there. I have to say, the glassine bags, tea staining them was a nightmare. They need to be dried, like completely opened up, so none of the paper's touching each other, because they stuck together like nobody's business. Anyway, I managed to rescue a few of them in one piece. Just that lovely jelly printed paper here, and a sticker. And again, a bit more sticker collage. And a faint, I think I've papered over that print. Is that a sticker? Here's a sticker. I can't fussy cut that one. Another little collage page here. A little trim. This little pod stamp it's a clear stamp I've had forever on a bit of jelly printed paper through to the back, and another one of those leaf postcards sectioned down into this. So it's thin, but it has a sort of a coherent theme. It's an autumnal journal. And I really enjoyed making that one, and I could have gone back and done more to this one, but actually what it inspired was this one, which I won't go all the way through now, but I'd loved using the yellow Post-it. So this is legal paper, you know, and the theme, as you can see, this is like a TN size journal. You know, these are not heavily decorated, but there's got these elements and this fabric and these things here and here. So you see, I was taking elements from that I created, and you know, I went and made another piece immediately afterwards because I was so inspired by doing this. So that's those. This is October. I haven't done a closure on this one. This is again one of the vintage documents my husband got me for my birthday. Tiny, the stamp I'd made on top of the print of that document. Some vintage stamps, just a little stamped scrap there for the date, and then I've punched holes all the way along here and blanket stitched after a fashion. We've got some really grungy stained paper. This was a bit of watercolour swatching I was doing, and I've written something indecipherable on there. Here we have a little flip up pocket, a little collage inside, just with some cloakroom or raffle tickets. These are the sort of the bingo cards, they're called. They're really flimsy paper. They're really inexpensive. You buy them in pads, and I've just stained up one of those. This is like paper from maybe a stenography machine or something like that. It's vintage paper. When I bought it, I didn't realise it was quite as small as it was, but they're really lovely little sheets of old paper. So I've just put a few of them in there for posterity. And I don't want to go in. There we go. And I think, yeah, that just holds that down. Vintage ledger here. Another iteration of that stamp. So look, we've got some book page under here. That is tea stained, and then it's got some stenciling over the top of it. Yeah, that stamp torn out, and then this is one of the labels I found online, made larger. It's one of my favourite old labels, basically. Here we have a blue page. So these are bits of original vintage ledger, and they're copies, I think, which is why they're on this blue paper. Sorry, I need a sip of coffee. This I think we've seen before. I love this blue flower. Little envelope there. Little pull-out journaling card here, which is the same as this is a journaling card here, but I've just used it as the back to the collage. So you've got a bit of doily, a bit of textile, a bit of napkin and a stamp. More vintage paper over this digital print and a stamp here. A nice little blue spread. Here, these collage spreads. So in this one, I was really enjoying these collage spreads. So we've got a bit of stained map from it's not really a vintage atlas at all. It's a fairly modern but out of date atlas. These are my price tag labels, which I've scanned and printed. This is a receipt that I've got a few of that I've scanned and printed. This is a digi. This is something I've found online and printed. Vintage stamp, and that's just the edging strip off the really inexpensive white cloakroom tickets, which I just tea stain. This is a vintage image which I found of art supplies, and it had some of these old watercolour swatches. They don't print particularly well. The originals online are not that high quality, so they're not marvellous, but I quite like them for pops of colour and things, although I've chosen brown and orange. Just a little card here. I think that's a bit of collage roll with this little, that's one of my French bank receipts backed with some stained matte paper. Another piece of that watercolour swatch, you can see it's pretty blurry. I don't really mind that. And again here, and it's printed on newsprint as well, which doesn't help in some ways, but does in others. We've got a little collage here using, again, those bingo sheets, some of that swatch page, and this has got wet, so it's bled the colour out quite nicely there. And this is just a little snippet of like painty, well, it's painty cardboard, not painty paper, with some cross stitch there. And I've stapled something over the top, but I'm covered it up. I'm not sure why. Maybe I didn't like it. A little page here. I found this sort of city plan print, and it was quite poignant in that, you know, I live in a city and these are all the houses crowded together and we're all in our houses, and that's kind of how it had been feeling. Little pocket with a tab here made out of this bank receipt, which has also got a bit of paint on it. I think that was so I just was playing with paint and metallic paint, which I haven't done for quite a long time. So I've got a little shabby tag there with some stamps, a 1p stamp, just a little ticket. That's just a little bit off from the collage roll that was left over. And then I think I basically smushed paint around and splattered it a bit on both of these pages just to add some interest. So I think this one has got a slightly more art journal-y feel in combination. Little collage here. Again, this blue is more from that watercolour swatch page. A little bit of digi vintage paper there. A little bit of leaf stamp. A little bit of muslin. Just a little collage spread here with, again, digis I've been making and playing with. A little bit more of those swatches. And this pulls out here. You've got a little journal card with some, this is digitally printed lined paper that then gotten wet and the colours bleed. And then I've done some stamping over that, some stamping over the tag. And I think the digital ledger underneath is from Jessica Rapp. And this is a little avocado stained envelope. And on the back you've got a little tuck spot with a little bit of measuring tape. Just some of my homemade tickety labelly things. Just a bit of vellum collage there. A little bit of a textured painty page over. This is a vintage garden book. I've got a belly band here. That is vintage end paper. And a little journaling card here with a bent back corner, slow stitching, American stamp, Tracy Fox label, bit of doily. Oh, go back in. A little bit more slow stitching where I've punched holes. I've got a hole punch that there's a really tiny hole, but you could do that with an awl, going all the way along there. Little tuck spot, little journaling card there. Little pocket from some stamped paper, just a couple of scraps in the back there. Again, a bit of digi collage going in the back cover. And there it is. That is the October. And this is November. Now, there is a full flip through of this on its own on my channel. So, yeah, I will just try and go through this one a bit quicker. And if you want to see this in more detail, please do go back and have a look. When I couldn't find it, I thought I was going to have to do that anyway. So in the December, I bought this set of Digi Eco Prints from Tailor Made Journals, and they're beautiful. and they really inspired this whole journal, working through. I did have a weird month where I had a week in the middle where I kind of got overwhelmed and couldn't make anything, but it came round, and I talk about that in the other video. So really getting into my slow stitched shabby clusters, which again I've got a video of just showing the process of making those a little bit. Just a simple collage here because I didn't want to cover up this beautiful thing. I've got my favourite one string closure on here, and you will see. So that's a belly band, or you could put something in there, but slow stitching on sari silk, slow stitching on shabby paper, practicing an inky splatter technique, little pocket here, collage and stamp, and collage. This is shorthand, fabric, a little bit of stitching under there, a stitched leaf. Another started with a leaf idea, inspired by something on Instagram, and then I thought I would have a go. So this leaf had been used as a mask in jelly printing, so it was already painty. Interesting arrangement here, but slow stitching piece, little sort of wintry digi cards that I made. You'll see a couple more of those with a rusty paper clip in one of my painstakingly tea-stained glassine envelopes. Little envelope there. We've got flippiness here. This is rusty stained paper, and I couldn't really bear to cover it up because I love it so much. So that flips out, and then that flips up, and you've got collage on the back there. Another one of those journaling cards behind, and this is a little flip out here as well. So I think it should go like so. Look at this. This is rust prints from Bobbins, and I love them. Yep, there's that card again, and with a leaf tree stencil. Thought it would look nice. I've kind of left that plain because it's beautiful. Little shabby sort of flowerish thing here, and a fabric tab, and then just a pretty collage, tear out from the digi, my stamp again. Sari silk to make sort of a long tab. There's lots of layers here. There's sort of stenciling behind, and yeah, I think I love the texture on this, and I love the colour palette in this. Again, I've branched out a little bit of colour with those tickets. Those are just sort of like from a little ephemera pack, papery stuff from somewhere, I don't know where. More jelly print. This is distress ink, stained cloth, US stamps, muslin. This is linen, and this is like a sort of brownish lace. This has been Mod Podged or so similar, so it's quite stiff. I think it's too stiff. I don't like the texture of it. Little collage here, a little bit of slow stitching. See, that's the colour of that lace before it got sort of treated, and I think that's a nicer colour, and it certainly feels nicer. But more slow stitching around here. Just really simple little snippet there, stapled onto that page with just a faint leaf stencil. Little flip out tag or tuck spots, stenciling behind. Simple collage. Another little sort of shabby, edgy, tabby thing. Just a little random collage here. Another one of those tags. And here in the back. So this is very old book page. A really scrappy, grungy, slow stitched tag with the rust stains again. you know, and just sort of scraps of wax thread is the term I'm looking for. And that same old book page, it's like an end page, some of the sturdier ones, I just made a torn pocket here, just a little, did I stitch? No, I didn't stitch it straight on. Another little slow stitch cluster on the back page, and here I've punched those holes again, and this is just a really shabby strip of old sort of calico, really worn and used, and I've just wound that through and made a shabby knot. So that completes the 12 flip throughs. And as I said, in doing that, I have completed another goal, and that feels really good. Well, will do once I've got it uploaded. And I want to thank everybody who has come over to watch. I know a lot of you've come over from Instagram, so I'm really, really grateful for that. And in the few weeks of doing this, slightly few more weeks than I thought it might take, nearly 100 people have subscribed to my channel. So I'm really chuffed. It's a lovely thing. That means a great deal. That 100 people have bothered to come and look. And I want to share my journey. I want to share my creative journey. It's good for me to share my creative journey, and I hope that maybe it might be good for some other people too. So I creep really close to 100 subscribers, and so I think that I would like to do something to mark that and to thank people. So I'll be back in the next few days, I hope, with some sort of celebration and giveaway. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.